Thank you for viewing The Adventures of Charlie and Lynn, our YouTube channel. In August 2021, we broke a leaf spring. The 4-leaf spring that broke was on the passenger rear side of the trailer. Our adventure story, Travel Trailer Broken Leaf Spring, needs to start with some recognition. Good Sam roadside service support was absolutely superior, beyond my expectations. The most pleasant, thorough communications throughout the entire process. The Good Sam roadside service representative stayed in contact with me throughout the day, beginning with a first phone call at 9 a.m. They continued to call all day long, confirming that everything was on track. Their final call was to confirm that all the services had been performed to my satisfaction, and that was at 6 p.m. that evening. I highly recommend the Good Sam roadside service. Let me give you the whole story. It was a long and winding road. My wife Lynn and I were driving from Cades Cove in the Smoky Mountains, Townsend, Tennessee, to Reed Bigham State Park in Adel, Georgia. Adel, Georgia is just north of Valdosta, Georgia, so we had just completed our day travel of 450 miles. Our travel trailer is a 2018 Mallard M27. As Lynn was backing our travel trailer into the campsite, I observed there was something hanging down next to the passenger rear tire. After close inspection, I saw it was a portion of the broken leaf spring on the passenger side rear spring. After pulling into the campsite, it was obvious that the trailer was leaning to the right because of the loss of suspension from the broken leaf spring. The day is Thursday, August 26, 2021. With 13,946 trailer miles, this is our first major issue, a broken leaf spring. Our 2018 Mallard M27 has been trouble-free. This incident I fault on the poor interstate conditions. Roadway potholes, broken concrete, all in the active interstate lanes of travel in the area south of Atlanta, Georgia, on August 2021. I cannot say for sure if this is where the leaf spring broke, but that area under construction had horrible road conditions. I do not know when the leaf spring broke, but I do know that the trailer and springs were not damaged at 7 a.m. Thursday when we left Townsend, Tennessee. I had several views of the leaf springs when I added air to the trailer tires the night before we left Cades Cove, and no broken leaf springs. Thursday a.m., before hooking up the trailer, we did our usual inspection, looking underneath to ensure stabilizers were up and the slide out was in. After hooking up, we did final inspection, removed the tire X-chocks, trailer lights working, weight distribution, anti-sway setup, safety chains, all working properly, no broken leaf spring. During the 450 miles to Reed Bigham State Park, the trailer never swayed or felt out of balance. There was nothing during the drive to indicate when the spring broke. After leaving Cades Cove, we drove 240 miles and I stopped for fuel south of Atlanta. While fueling, I checked the tires and did not notice anything unusual, no dangling leaf spring, no listing or leaning of the trailer. We arrived at Reed Bigham State Park in Adel, Georgia, Thursday at about 4 p.m. I observed the broken spring as Lynn backed into our campsite. We set up the trailer, and then I called Good Sam Roadside Assistance about having the trailer towed to the nearest Camping World repair store. Good Sam said they would begin contacting tow companies on Friday morning. We cooked steak and potatoes and enjoyed a wonderful dinner. Lynn and I discussed our activities for Friday, preparing for the tow. Okay, so here it is, Thursday night. The trailer will be towed to Valdosta, Georgia for repairs. I had already contacted Camping World Thursday before 5, where I was going to have it towed. The service representative stated that they were behind already, so it would be at least 3 weeks before they could look at the broken leaf spring and give me an estimate. Camping World, Valdosta, Georgia was the closest service provider. Valdosta, Georgia is 250 miles from my home base in Clearwater. Linda and I discussed what we must prepare to leave the trailer for 3 weeks or more in Georgia. First, I threw away all the perishable food, off to the dumpster, no other choice. Then we loaded the truck with all the essential items we needed to take home with us. And off to bed we went. Tomorrow we'll take it step by step. I had guessed the cost of repair to be between $900 and $1,200, including parts and labor. I always like to start my day with a good cup of coffee. Good Sam Roadside Service representative called around 9 a.m. to let me know they had made contact with the first company and they couldn't do it. A little while later, they called again and said that the second company they contacted, they couldn't do it either. When they called me the third time and stated that no one they had contacted had a low-body frame trailer to put my trailer on it for transfer, but they hadn't given up and they would get back with me in a little while. Call number 4 was from Good Sam and said they had found a company that responded, yes, they had the equipment to tow a trailer of my size, but they could repair the trailer leaf spring on site for far less than they would charge to tow the trailer. Good Sam, Roadside Service representative, stated that a tow company also did mobile repair, that the company could repair the leaf spring here at the state park, that they could repair it today, remember it is Friday, that Good Sam Roadside Service would cover only the service call cost, the parts and labor would be my responsibility. Without hesitation, I stated yes. Tell the company I will cover parts and labor, and that Good Sam Roadside Service will cover the service cost. No, I didn't even ask about a cost estimate, but I will in the future. My immediate response was because of the following. Camping fees were $40 a day. 3 weeks in Valdosta, Georgia, to await an estimate with no time frame of when the repairs could be done, then to return 250 miles at some later date to pick up the trailer. A few minutes later, the Good Sam representative called stating everything is a go. The next call I get is from the company doing the repair. Ott's Auto Doctor Mechanic asked for a leaf spring information, the distance between the eye bolts, the number of leaves in the spring. In addition, he wanted a picture of a non-broken spring on the trailer. I text him the information and the picture. Replacing a leaf spring is the type of work that requires you to sit on the ground or lay on the ground next to the tire out in the open. And then this occurs. 2 songs came to my mind. It's a Rainy Night in Georgia and the one Hello Mutta, Hello Fada. Camp is very entertaining and they say we'll have some fun when it stops raining. Our work area is flooded. Are you kidding me? Thankfully, the rain stopped and the site drained enough to do the work. Ott's Auto Doctor Towing and Repair Mechanic has arrived. Their business address is in Thomasville, Georgia, about 50 miles south of where we're at and 30 miles north of Tallahassee, Florida. As it turns out, the mechanic that showed up is also the owner. He had to first travel to Tallahassee, Florida to get the parts. Then he brought 2 different size springs because there were 2 different possibilities for the trailer. After he removed the broken leaf spring, he placed it next to the 2 new springs. It was obvious which one to use. Fortunately, it was the one rated for more weight. It took 2 hours to remove the old spring and replace the new spring. He finishes, puts his tools away, and then does his paperwork and hands me the bill. Oh my, to say I was shocked would be an understatement. As I looked at the invoice, he stated his road service charge was $480 and that Good Sam Roadside Service had already paid, and said they were very good to work with. I barely heard his compliment about Good Sam roadside service because I was distracted at the amount of the bill. I asked, "Is this correct?" "Yep," he stated. I asked, "Does this cover both the parts and the service?" He said, "Yep," and pointed to the itemized list with cost. Looking at the bill, I finally said, "Wow, I really didn't expect it to be this amount." The bill was let me state once more, I guessed cost of repair between $900 and $1,200, including parts and labor, at least to be under $2,000. Yes, I know it was Friday night. Yes, I should have asked for an estimate. Yes, he knew it was an emergency on my part. Yes, he knew I really didn't have a choice. Yes, we were at the mercy of whoever would do the repair work. Okay, are you ready for this? The bill for one 4-leaf spring and 2 hours of labor? $260.99. Are you kidding me? I was shocked, pleased. Surprised is another understatement. We happily paid the bill. We were so pleased to have somebody come out on a Friday night and provide this repair that we also gave him a $100 tip. I'm curious if you think the amount that we left for the tip was too much or too little. Should we have left a tip at all? Provide any comments below. We highly recommend Ott's Auto Doctor Towing and Repair Service, Thomasville, Georgia. We also highly recommend Good Sam Roadside Service. Don't leave home without it. Thank you for viewing The Adventures of Charlie and Lynn. Please subscribe and ring the bell if you'd like to see more of The Adventures of Charlie and Lynn.